welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have somebody who, well, they are in my top 5 list of favorite people here in Tacoma. I'm talking about Duke Paulson. He is the executive director of Tacoma Rescue Mission. Welcome back, Duke.
Thank you, Amanda. I'm very excited to be here.
It's just great to have you. You are just a shot of positivity every time I get a chance to talk with you. And I know that running a mission is not always like that, but you have a propensity for gratitude that I really enjoy. So first thing I want to do is I want to check in with you. And how are you doing during the pandemic?
Well, operating and working at a rescue mission means you need to be flexible all the time. There's lots of different things that are going on. There's so many ways we're trying to help and serve people. The pandemic has just been a grad school course in being even more flexible than usual. But we have hit a nice stride. So we've hit a good pace and understanding and rhythm of what we're doing. And it has really been a joy. I'm so proud of the work that's happened here because of the consistent effort to keep things safe and to be in a position where we're around and serving people face to face all year and do it in a really safe way. So while we have had a few COVID cases, we've stayed well below even the average for the county of COVID rates. And we've done a really good job of just continuing to serve people in a crazy time and a high need. And I'm really proud of our team for the work they've done.
Oh, absolutely, because nothing prepares us for a pandemic. I mean, as far as I know, none of us were alive during the 1917 Spanish flu. And if they were, they're not talking about it.
No, I couldn't have even told you what a pandemic was before this. So this is all me.
So it is impressive. It's impressive that you have continued to reinvent and to keep the rescue mission going. Let's talk about the rescue mission before COVID and the rescue mission today with COVID. How has it changed?
It's changed a lot. We've done a lot for safety and social distancing. We no longer serve meals indoors, but we still are serving thousands of meals every week. And we're a primary food safe area for people. And then just in social distancing, where we have people sleeping, how we have people passing through each other, creating outdoor spaces and tents. And currently we're testing every week. Everyone that stays here and staff, we're tested every week for COVID just to make sure we stay on top of things. So that's been really helpful for just providing a baseline and understanding how we can best respond and help people. And we've had our partners in the community. We've had a partnership with Bellman, a partnership with Holy Rosary Church and School to create satellite campuses, which have allowed us to continue to serve the full volume of people that we normally would have, even in a crazy time like this.
You're very modest. You have taken this one step further. Would you tell our nice folks at home about the bus that you took and what you did with it?
Well, as vaccinations came out, people over 65 were eligible. But there was a realization it's hard to get people who are experiencing homelessness to get to the sites and to wait in long lines. And if you don't have a car, how do you wait in a drive-through site? So we have a 50-passenger bus that a church allows us to use, one of our partners. And one of my staff, who's our chief operations person, voluntarily said, I will take the bus and drive around the community. And we partnered with all the other shelters. And he picked people up at every shelter in the community, as well as going around to the street and just going to where he knew people were and saying, hey, I know you're living here, hop in the bus, I'm taking you. And we took over 50 people to be vaccinated. He did multiple runs over the course of a whole Saturday to get people vaccinated that were over 65. And I just really appreciate that extra effort that he went through to do that.
Boy, let me tell you, that's what I call living out loud justice, removing those barriers. It has been something that Tacoma is continually working on with how do we get are unhoused individuals vaccinated. Any chance you could have Tacoma Public Health Department come there and do a vaccination site?
We have offered that. Congregate shelters, places where people are living in close proximity, starting next month will be eligible. So we have not been able to do it because of the parameters. But hopefully next month, we are crossing our fingers and praying that it will be allowed. And either we will do a similar thing where we'll be busing people and making appointments and doing it in group, or we've said our shelter's open. If the health department would help set that up, we would open ourselves up to do a day of vaccinations for anyone and everyone. And I think that'd be great to have it be in a safe place for people that they feel comfortable.
Absolutely. Boy, if I can put any pressure on the health department, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, please take
The
advantage.
power of media. Great.
Power of media. There we go. So I want to step back for a second for people perhaps who are not familiar with the Tacoma Rescue Mission and are trying to grasp how many individuals do you serve on a daily basis?
So just single individuals on a daily basis, we're close to 180 men and women. And then families, we have another 60 some families with children. So if you start breaking that down, that we have over 130 children on our campuses and several hundred people, adults across the system that we are providing help and support for people experiencing homelessness in.
That is incredible. Those numbers are staggering to me, which makes me think, what's the current availability at the shelter?
Yeah, we've had some trends that have been interesting this year. So in the fall and into the winter, we actually had capacity to still serve people. We weren't full. Even with our partners, we weren't fully utilizing the space. And then in January, when we had the snow and really bad weather and freezing hit, then we filled up, and we've stayed full since then. So we are basically operating at capacity right now with both men and women, with just on any given night, there may be a few beds that are open. It just depends on who comes and what's available. Our family shelter is consistently full. Every night we are at capacity, and unfortunately are not able to, we have an ongoing waiting list with our families. And that's one of the bottlenecks in the system that we're dealing with.
You know, you mentioned that you stopped at other shelters or on the bus and picked people up.
Yep.
So obviously, you've got some partnerships going and some cohesiveness with other shelters. Are you seeing the same kind of trends in terms of high saturation in terms of beds and those types of things with other shelters as well, Duke?
Yeah, what we're experiencing has been consistent across the board with all the shelters, and they are all partners. No one's in competition in this field. We're all in trying to say, how can we support people? What can we do better? Really, a lot of what we've shifted to doing more is more outreach in the pandemic. How are we helping people that are sheltering in place? They might be in a place where they feel safe and are able to be sheltered. So how can we provide contact and support? Where can we say, when you do want to come in for help, here's where you can come and we're available. And that can be coming into shelter, that can be coming into our drug and alcohol recovery program, that can be coming into, for some people, let's go straight into finding a job or into a permanent house if they're ready for it. So really working on outside of our walls outreach in the community, as well as what we're doing inside of our facilities.
Yeah, you once again removing those barriers and going right to the individual.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your women's shelter. Last time I had you on, it had just opened up. There were a couple, maybe a handful of beds. You were still looking for books and bedding and some things to make it just really comfortable. So give us an update, Duke.
You know what? I should probably do next time. You remind me. I'll film from down there. I can probably find a corner. It'll be kind of fun to do this in location to see what's going on. It's a beautiful site. We really worked on making it a comfortable, safe place for ladies to come into. And I could do that in the middle of in the middle of the morning or afternoon, in the time where we're in transition. I can find a spot where we could film and not invade people's privacy. We are running essentially close to full. At any given point, somewhat like the men's shelter, there might be a few beds that are available on a given night, but we're running with our normal capacity right now with our COVID social distancing. And it has just been a blessing, honestly, having this space for ladies, having, as you said, books and games. We have personal cell phone charging stations. We have private showers, laundry facility that is pretty much constantly being used. And in the cold weather, those showers, a warm place to come in and get cleaned up and get your clothes washed and cleaned. And it's just been a really great environment, but it's also really helped provide a stability and safe place for ladies that are in a highly vulnerable situation. And we are seeing the fruit of that in opportunities for people to engage in getting out of homelessness. And so that's been really powerful with our case managers meeting with these ladies and helping them out. And we're building a track record of increasing numbers of people that are moving out of the shelter as well.
So let's follow that train of thought with people, because ultimately the goal is to get people out of the shelter, into their own place, and functioning and having their needs met and contributing back to society. So how can people get involved and help you achieve this goal?
Yeah, that's a great point, Amanda, to understand that, as you're saying, we're really trying to help people in the long run, but we start by offering food and shelter as just an entryway to build a relationship, to get trust. We have volunteers that help us with those entry points. I was just talking with the city of Fife yesterday, and their city manager and chief of police and leadership team are going to come down and serve meals in our kitchen. We have real estate groups that do that. We have banking groups that do it. And we all just have, moms with their kids that want to come down and just see and help. So that's a great entry point. But we do have people that are helping all the way up through doing mentoring and counseling with people in recovery programs, and becoming a mentor and saying, I'm going to do a call once a week just for half an hour to check in with you and help you with talking through problems and things that are going on in your life. So there's lots of different ways people can engage depending on what their strengths are, what their comfort level is. But we really survive on the community coming around us and being a partner and helping people, because that's what provides hope for people. There's a lot of people that just say, oh, you're experiencing homelessness, there's help for you, go get it. But when people come around them and they see other people that are engaging and helping them and care for them and want to know their name and what their barriers are and how we can start to help them, that's when people get hope and feel better about themselves. It's the same thing I see with my children when they're in elementary school. It's still going on when you're an adult. It's just a little bit more adultish, but it's still part of the beauty of community coming around and helping people.
Absolutely. Everybody is someone's son or daughter.
Yeah.
And I think we have to always remember that when we are helping those in need. If people have things that they'd like to drop off, Duke, where can they physically do that?
Yes, so we have a donation center on 6th Avenue. It's just, it's next to Legendary Donuts, but we now are renting that site, and we have exciting news on that coming up, because we're renting that site so that people can come from the community and donate. It's central in Tacoma, but it's also, we're going to be converting that into a thrift store, where part of what we receive so much donations that it gives us a chance to monetize and actually sell stuff and turn around and reinvest that money back into the rescue mission. And so we're going to set it up as a store, both to help support the mission, but then we're also going to give cards to our guests and people who need to go in, so they can go in and shop just like you would in a normal store and still get their clothing and things for free through us, but in a store environment rather than just off a rack in the back of a closet somewhere or through a system. So it'll still be supporting our community and our guests, but it'll also be a way to help support the mission. So people, anything that they want to drop off there, yes, I know we're entering into a goodwill kind of the toe in the water kind of thing, but that's something that we're looking forward to opening up this summer.
It makes total sense. And I'm very happy to hear that you are wading into that pool. Duke, thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule to be here today. And you always have a place in my heart and a place in my kitchen. So come back to see anytime, all right?
Thank you, Amanda. We're all getting closer to being vaccinated, and I will take you up on that. I'll come to your kitchen sometime so we can talk further. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank
We
you so
have
much.
much more to come on Cityline, so don't go away. We'll be right back.